The world rejoices. Princess Leonor Royal wedding unites Spain and Denmark. Imagine this, bells echoing across Madrid, flags waving from balconies, and millions of hearts beating as one. The world expected a royal celebration, but no one imagined it would feel like this. Because what began as a simple union of two young royals, Princess Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark, has turned into something far greater. A love story powerful enough to unite two nations, heal old divides, and remind the world that even in an age of cynicism, fairy tales can still be real. The royal cathedral stood glowing under the spring sunlight, its marble steps lined with roses from both Spain and Denmark, symbolizing two kingdoms blending as one. The air itself seemed to shimmer with anticipation. Crowds filled every corner of Madrid, waving the red and yellow of Spain alongside the white and red of Denmark. It wasn't just a royal event, it was a once-in-a-century moment of shared history. But here's what no one expected. When Princess Leonor stepped out of her carriage, the entire square fell silent. Not because of her title, but because of her presence. The 19-year-old heir to the Spanish throne, dressed in a gown that captured the soul of her nation, simple, elegant, and full of meaning, had transformed before the world's eyes. This wasn't the little girl who once waved shyly from palace balconies. This was the woman destined to lead, love, and redefine what it means to be royal in the modern age. And beside her, Prince Christian, calm, graceful, and visibly in awe, stood as the perfect reflection of his mother, Queen Mary of Denmark's poise, and his grandmother, Queen Margrethe's legacy. Together, they weren't just two royal heirs. They were the living bridge between two kingdoms that once viewed each other through rivalry but now embraced as family. Inside the cathedral, history unfolded quietly. King Felipe VI stood tall but emotional, his eyes reflecting both pride and the weight of fatherhood. Queen Letizia, often so composed, couldn't hold back her tears as her daughter exchanged vows beneath the centuries-old arches. It was said that even the choir faltered for a brief second when the couple said their "I do," as if the moment itself demanded stillness. The ceremony blended old traditions with a new spirit. The Spanish royal choir sang hymns alongside a Danish children's chorus, two languages, two cultures, one voice. The royal families sat side by side, and when Queen Margrethe smiled through tears, it felt like Europe itself was smiling with her. Outside, the people's celebration was something the world hadn't seen in decades. The streets of Madrid turned into a sea of flags, laughter, and song. Cafes played royal music. Strangers hugged. For the first time in a long time, Spain wasn't divided by politics or pain, it was united by joy. Denmark, too, rejoiced in its cities, their royal pride shining across Copenhagen's squares. The wedding wasn't just broadcast, it was felt. And yet, behind all the grandeur, there was something deeply human. During the reception, away from the flashing cameras, Leonor and Christian shared a private dance. Those who saw it said it wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't royal. It was simply real. Two young people, burdened by history but choosing love anyway. But what makes this story so powerful isn't just the beauty of the wedding. It's what it symbolizes. For centuries, royal marriages were political arrangements, cold, strategic, often loveless. Yet here stood two heirs, choosing love first, nation second, and yet achieving both. Their union marks the beginning of what many now call the new monarchy, a generation of royals redefining tradition through authenticity, empathy, and humanity. In the following days, the global media exploded with emotion. Headlines read, "Love wins in Madrid, a royal future begins," and "Spain and Denmark's crowned connection." Even critics of the monarchy found themselves softened, acknowledging that this wasn't about wealth or power, it was about purpose. But behind closed palace doors, not everything was simple. Royal insiders whispered of tension, of the immense expectations Leonor now carries. As the first queen to be of Spain in generations, her life will forever be under the world's gaze. How do you balance love with duty when your every gesture becomes a symbol? How do you remain human when history demands perfection? Still, if this wedding proved anything, it's that Leonor is ready. Her journey from the classrooms of Zaragoza's military academy to the world stage has shaped her into something extraordinary, a leader who listens, a woman who feels deeply, and a princess who dares to love openly. As night fell over Madrid, fireworks illuminated the skyline. The royal couple appeared once more on the balcony of the Zarzuela Palace, waving to the thousands gathered below. The cheers were deafening. "Viva España! Viva Dinamarca!" echoed through the night air. For a moment, borders disappeared. Politics faded. All that remained was unity, royal, human, and heartfelt. And while many saw just a fairy tale ending, those who looked closer saw the beginning of something much bigger. This union isn't just about two people in love, it's about a Europe learning to hope again. About nations rediscovering what connects them. About a generation that believes kindness and strength can exist side by side. In the days that followed, Leonor's wedding dress became a global trend, symbolizing purity and heritage. Fashion critics called it the gown that united two crowns. Historians compared the wedding to the marriage of Queen Victoria's descendants, calling it the rebirth of royal diplomacy through love. But beyond the elegance, it's the emotion that endures, the image of a young princess with tears in her eyes, whispering words of love in two languages, before a world that had almost forgotten what sincerity looks like. As Europe wakes up to this new royal era, one thing is clear: the world hasn't just witnessed a wedding, it's witnessed a reminder. That unity is possible, that love still has power, that even in a century driven by speed and screens, real connection still moves hearts. And so, as the cathedral bells fade and the final light leaves the Madrid skyline, the story of Princess Leonor and Prince Christian becomes more than royal history. It becomes a global memory. A moment where two nations stood hand in hand, where tradition met tomorrow, and where the world, just for a day, rejoiced together. Because in 2025, it wasn't just Spain and Denmark that united. It was all of us, believing again, if only for a moment, in the magic of love.